everybody. Welcome to One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. We have got an amazing program for you tonight, and we're pretty excited about it. I'm not going to hold back this guy. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in right now. We've got, as usual, from Montrose, Colorado, my co-host and son-in-law, Jay Gill. Jay, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing real good. How are you doing, Dad?
I'm doing awesome. Did you have a little trouble getting home in the snow today or something?
I did not. All of our snow melted. It was almost like 50 degrees today. It was beautiful on the western slope of Colorado.
On the western slope, yep. It's we had a little snow, a little bit of ice here. Beautiful yesterday morning heading into church, but it is all gone now, and that's okay with me. So I'm good.
Yeah,
Awesome. Hey,
absolutely.
we got a great program tonight. We are having a really an amazing man in this community and throughout mid-Missouri, has made a big impact in people's lives and a very important time in their lives too. But why don't you go ahead and talk about Reid Millard a little bit, Jay?
Oh yeah, Reid Millard. If you've grown up in Jefferson City, even like I have, you know the name Reid Millard. One thing I didn't know about Reid Millard was that he was into racing. That's something that caught me out of left field, and I've spent several days just watching a ton of videos, watch actually race, which I think is awesome. And it kind of sparked a lot of questions for me. Why would he get into it? And so when you start digging into Reid's history, it's very cool. He graduated from the Commonwealth of College of Sciences of Houston back in 1981. He graduated at the top of his class, and he earned his degree in Mortuary Service. In 1990s, when he moved to Jefferson City, Missouri, he purchased Hauser Funeral Services, and he's provided fantastic service to the mid-Missouri community ever since. But dealing with death all the time, I can see why, I would need an outlet. I would need something to do. And, some people pick golf. Some people will choose like rec basketball, softball. Reid, he chose racing. He's an adrenaline junkie. That's all I can say. So he's been supporting racing since the early 90s. He found himself behind the 2000. He's found quite a niche for himself, and he's been involved in racing for over 20 years now. He's even been in an accident that caused him to be life flighted to KC in order to save his life. We're going to dive into all of this in our upcoming interview. So be sure to stick around, and you can hear all about it from Reid himself. Another shout out I want to give is Reid is always willing to give back to the community. It's not uncommon to see him gathering supplies for care packages to be sent to our troops across the seas. So I'm really excited to dive in, Dad, and talk to Reid, and I'm really excited to see the intro put together for him.
Well, I thought it was pretty good. Just we're talking about racing. There's one guy that does a good job when it comes to an intro of racing, and so as soon as this intro is over, we're gonna jump right into talking to Reid. We'll bring him on right then. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here you go.
But this is what I wanted. Is what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
How's that for an intro? Very good. Hey, Reid, thanks for joining us tonight.
You bet. Appreciate both you and Jay having me on tonight.
Yeah, we're excited, and as everybody can see behind you there, you're in your shop, and you got some really neat machinery in there with you. And I know you're going to bring her on a little bit later, but Clarissa's done a great job in helping get everything set up, and I just appreciate the work she's put into it. So, very glad.
Well, we appreciate her too. She heads up our social media for our businesses, and she does an outstanding job.
Yeah, she really does. As I've been going through your Facebook page and just all the different things that you do as far as the business and community involvement. There is a lot of stuff there, and that's really neat that you guys do all that you do. So we appreciate that, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jay, are you ready to jump right in?
I'm ready to jump in. I want to talk to the legend himself.
Okay.
Hey, Reid, tell us about growing up in Ohio and how you found your love for racing.
I grew up in a little town called Breeden, Ohio. It's on the Ohio River, just about 50, 60 miles down from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's flanked by steel mills on one side and coal mines on the other. But it was a Mayberry town. We lived in a addition called Green's Addition, which was only about three streets tall and about 1 or 2 blocks wide. But the Green's Addition really had a lot of great kids growing up, and I was lucky to be a part of that.
That's a neat thing growing up in a community, and you probably knew most of the people around there, right?
We knew everybody. It was just like as a kid, and you're in the neighborhood playing football in the yard or something. You had to use the bathroom, let's say, and you didn't even knock on the door. You just went in and used whose house you were playing next to. It's just the way it was. So a
That's
little different.
I remember growing up. Of course, we didn't. I mean, we never locked our doors. I mean, a lot of times they were even just wide open. So friends running in and out. My mom and dad coming home and trying to figure out what in the world was going on. Why is there like 30 kids in the house? And it sometimes was a little chaotic, but it was fun. So
That's the way our house was. I was when my aunt and uncle died when I was age, and so my parents adopted their 4 children. We had four. All of a sudden, we had eight. And then the interesting thing was, we'd have like 12, 14 be there at night because everybody liked to stay at our house. And I remember one night going to one of my friend's house. He was a single kid. I said, "This must be heaven." So it was fun growing up, though.
yeah, that's great. That's great. Hey, we're going to talk, of course, about racing for the most of the time here. But before we go into that, I want you to talk a little bit about your business and what you do throughout Mid Missouri, and kind of tell us how many of the funeral homes that you own now and operate, and just some of the other things you do.
Well, I kind of grew up in Brilliant. I started grass at the funeral home. I went to Wheeling Jesuit College before I went down to Houston to go to Mortuary College. But it worked at the funeral home while it was at Wheeling, and then went to Houston and spent 10 years. And then in 1990, after my brother died, I had a brother who was 27, I was 28. After he passed away, I worked for a large corporation. I just wanted to get out on my own, and I always thought it to be very rewarding to help people on an individual basis and families on an individual basis. So in 1990, I purchased Hauser Funeral Service, and today we have 11 funeral homes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Probably a little surreal looking back on all that, and from where you started and where you are now, and just all the wonderful people that you have working for you. That's probably very rewarding.
Well, the most important thing of any business are your people.
Hmm.
We have incredible teams, both Columbia, Jeff City, and the surrounding areas that we serve. Both are full-time people, and I just feel very fortunate. Try to give them good leadership, but let me tell you, they always step up the extra mile for every family, and we appreciate it.
No, that's right. People do make the difference, and so um, speaking of people making a difference, I'm going to do our first sponsor here real quick, and then Jay will be ready for our next question. So Jay, when we're done with this sponsorship from CNS Business Services, Paula and Stephanie at CNS, they do a great job, and they're really wanting to make a difference in the community and helping find people jobs where they need them and when they need them. So here's a quick announcement from Stephanie Lehman at CNS Business Services.
Hi, I'm Stephanie with CNS Business Services. At CNS, it's our job to find the right job for you. We take that job seriously and want to make your job search easy and successful. CNS presents a wide variety of employers, large and small, in a variety of industries in central Missouri, and we do our best to place applicants in jobs that match their skills and needs. So check out the CNS website for a list of current job opportunities and apply online anytime, or contact our office at 1731 South Ridge Drive in Jefferson City. And let CNS do what we do best for over 40 years. Find the job that's right for you.
We appreciate Stephanie and her whole team over there with Paula Benny. They do a great job, and we just really appreciate their sponsorship of the program, making this possible. And Jay, are you ready to get going, man, with the next question? Fire away.
I am indeed. Before we start going into all the racing, I do want to talk about. You've always been very supportive of student athletes and education here in the high school and higher education levels. I just want to know why that's always been so important to you.
Well, one of the most important things of any community is to be able to have great jobs. In order to attract companies for the jobs, you have to have an educated workforce. We're fortunate that we have a lot of great institutions around here with state tech, all the new things and innovative things for tech students. So if you're not into behind the desk and so forth, state tech has that. Lincoln University, diverse crowd. It's a historical Black university based right here in Jeff City. But the big thing is they offer a lot of great courses that help out our local economy. And they just started up with Gary Hill and the university, the new police academy, which I'm really looking to, and we hope to sponsor a student there. Then you look up to the University of Missouri. Hey, we're in the SEC, and that's what the toughest team to be or group to be in the conference. And all they do at the university, they just spent 200 some $1 million, I believe, on a new research center, which is going to bring a lot of jobs. But the research center, I don't know if people understand how important that is. But things like vaccines or whatever that they're going to be doing is just going to really create a lot of opportunity. And in the next 20 years, they believe Columbia is going to grow about 38%, and they're going to need an educated workforce. So I'm always interested in doing that. People have helped our family along the way, and we appreciate it. Now, since I'm able to be in a little bit of a position to do that, I like to do it.
That's very good. Very good. You know, the neat thing that you're talking about these universities is that there's a lot of really good people that work in there. You mentioned Gary Hill, an amazing man. John Mosley, an amazing man. Just all the different things that they do for the community as well as the students there too. It's an honor. State Tech, you said it. They do a great job. We've also got Westminster and William Woods. We've got a good group of universities just right around this area. So it's
Absolutely. And John Moses, they got a jewel right there, and I hope Lincoln can keep him involved as long as they can. And guys, if you get a chance, go out and see a Lincoln basketball game this season. They're on fire, so they're fun to watch.
yeah, they're doing a great job. He does a great job. Really, really a good man. Hey, well, before we go into
Hey, but I also have to point out, Conzo Martin's doing a great job, and look what they're number 12 in the nation,
that's
and we got a lot of good stuff going on around here.
yeah, I've seen that you like to get up there to those games, and I even saw that out at Apple Creek you had the Tiger out there. You had Truman out there with you.
Yeah, we did. We do a event every year for the special or the shelter workshop here in town. We usually have 250 to 300 people. This is the first time in 26 years that we weren't able to have it, but we did put together packages for Halloween for them. So that was, but yeah, we have a good time. I mean, those kids come in, they're adults with and they come in and have a great time. We have a lot of volunteers, the Knights of Columbus, some of the churches, and people throughout central Missouri in our area come and help with that program.
Yeah. There you go. Before I ask this question, we've got several people that are watching online here, and if any of you guys have any comments, feel free to post them on here, and we'll put them up, or we'll ask Reid if you happen to have a question. Don't make it too hard because I want to make sure that I can ask it okay. All right. So there we go. Jay, why don't you go ahead and fire off the next question?
Yeah. So kind of going into, you talked about doing you went to college with the mortuary service. What did that idea, I'm just kind of curious, why you wanted to take that as your career.
So, growing up in Berean, Ohio, my grandparents owned Millard's. It was a flower shop called Millard's Garden and Gift Center. It was directly across from the funeral home. And I'm telling you, all 8 of us kids, we all had to work here. So I was treated equally. And we'd all have to carry flowers over to the funeral home across the street. And that was one of my jobs starting about I think 7 years old. So there should have been a child labor law back there, but I carried him across the street, and I think I was about age 12, and I started mowing grass there.
Very good.
And the rest is history. Yeah.
And the rest was history.
Hey, awesome. Speaking of
Correct.
history, my friend Scott Marion, he used to, I don't know if you ever knew him, Reid, but he used to be the manager at Walmart here in Jeff City.
Oh yeah, I know Scott. He moved out of state. He and his wife.
Yeah, he says, does Reid remember late model driver Larry Phillips from around Springfield? He was one of my favorites in high school. And then he says, good show as always.
Absolutely. I didn't know Larry too well. I raced with his son. I knew of Larry, and then I got parts from Larry's son, Terry Phillips, and I heard a lot about Larry. And obviously, Larry's a legend. He won over 2,000 races throughout the United States. But he had, and his son called me and said, "Hey, my dad wants to talk to you." And I thought, next time you're down here buying parts, he wants to talk to you about some stuff. I thought, well, he's going to talk to me about my racing because my skills are nothing his. So, but anyway, he had cancer, and he said, "Reid," he says, "I really want to have you come down and do the service for me." I said, "I'll do that." But it was really interesting. Like Rusty Wallace, guys like that came. It was a great tribute. But the thing a lot of people didn't know about Larry is he had a love for flying, and he built two experimental aircraft. And a few years before, because of his health and everything, he sold those aircraft. And I found them, and at the gravesite during the services, after the prayers, we had those two guys fly the planes over this gravesite. So it was a great surprise for the family.
Yeah, that's neat. I know.
Very cool.
And he never did talk to me about my racing, so I'm good with that.
That's great. I know you do a lot of different things like that as far as trying to bring things in to make the moment special. And, again, that's kudos for that. That's just an amazing thing to do for families, especially in a time of need. You talked about your brother losing him at an early age. And, my brother was a year younger than me, and I lost him when he was 44. So it's a tough thing, but their memory, that makes a difference. And, we're able to carry that on. So I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, know exactly what you're going through there. Hey, you kind of was on the track with another pretty famous driver here in mid-Missouri. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Mr. Carl Edwards.
Well, Carl and I, we met through, it's like Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it's it's a local deal about dreams for kids that have challenges like cancer. And there was a young boy named Josh Basinger, and we helped out, and Carl helped out, and that's how we met. And then became good friends. And he started calling me up, see how my racing was going. And then one year, I think it was around 2005, we put together a dirt late model for him to race at I-44 Speedway. And that was the first and last time this crowd they ever had. Carl had just come off of winning, I believe, 2 races down at Atlanta. And so they were packed in there to see him. Carl is a great guy. He's solid as they come, and a great friend. And he does a lot for a lot of people. He's out of NASCAR. He quietly does it. He doesn't want people to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we appreciate him.
Yeah, very good. Hey, before Jay gets in.
Hey, I think I could tell it now. I think I could tell the story now because of service. But we had like a 4-star general pass away. They bring out everybody for a 4-star general. But with the COVID going on and everything, and he was out of the Air Force, they couldn't bring out the plane for a flyover, or didn't do the 21 gun salute at the time. But they did, from Whiteman, the commander out there sent 2 gentlemen up, not to give full honors, but at least present the flag to the family. But I told them we have one other thing special. I said, we're still going to have a flyover to get today. So here comes this plane buzzing over. We had it scheduled. He does some rolls as he comes about, does a flip, and he left. It was Carl.
It was Carl.
So now we can let it out. So we
awesome.
appreciate him doing that. Yeah. He said, heck yeah, I'll do that. So it was great. And he was social distance. He was about 300 feet in the air. He's way away from it. So everything was good. Yeah.
That's almost as social distance as you can get. Mayor Turgeon, definitely
Exactly.
one. Yeah, very good. Hey, we're going to go ahead and introduce our next sponsor here, Diesel Power Plus. Delton and Ashley Rissler out in California off of the intersection of 50 and 87. He's got a quick little announcement here, and then we'll get back to Jay's next question here.
Delton Rissler here with Diesel Power Plus and Edge Graphics in California, Missouri. We're positioned in the Crossroads Shopping Plaza. We're located on the Highway 50 and 87 on the Crossroads. And I just wanted to announce we have a truck show coming up April 17th. Me and my brother are both in the same building. He has a chrome shop. We're going to have it's going to be a big event, and for those that want to get out and do something April 17th, I encourage you to come down. It's going to be a family event. We're going to have things for the children to do. We're going to have bounce houses. There will be food on the premises. It's going to be an all-day event. It's Delton Rissler with Diesel Power Plus and Edge Graphics. Come see us April 17th at the Crossroads Shopping Plaza.
You know, forget the kids with the bounce house. You know, I might want to chop. Depending on.
Hey, they got an incredible place up there in California too, Diesel Power Plus. As you're going up 87 on the southeast side, huge building. I went in there just to check it out, and I'm a chrome guy, so it was fun to see.
There's lots of good stuff in there. I mean, when Jay was
lots of good stuff.
When Jay was in town last time for the interviews that we were setting up with the schools, I took him in there really quickly as we were heading on over to Russellville from California, and it was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a massive store, and as Reid said, it's got a lot of really cool stuff there.
Yeah, very good. Jay, next.
And it's a great family too.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Reid, I'm very interested to talk about that big wreck you had in 2004. When I was reading about that, it got my heart pumping, my adrenaline going. You had to get life flighted, and you fractured your back. What happened? How was that? And then I also want to hear about the recovery process.
We're racing at Lamont, and I don't know, we're kind of midway into the race. It started raining a little bit. They shut us down. We ran the track back in, and we got to racing again. And car got turned around. I was on the inside. The car got turned around on the top side and came back at me. And then I went up over it, out of the park, over the side, landed on top of my roof, flew back up, landed on my wheels, flew back up, hit on the top of the roof, and then got back on my wheels. So I was crushed inside, and I could remember the helicopter landing before they even got me out. So it took a while, but yeah, I got a broken back out of the deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that pretty hard to, I don't know, go about the process as far as getting back into a car after all of that had happened, and how tough was that?
Well, I just spent, I think it was 14 weeks in a full body cast during the summertime. That wasn't any fun. But so they took the body cast off and did some checks or whatever they do. And so the doctor said I was released, but I didn't ask him if I could race or not. So as soon as he released me, we got the car out the next weekend and went back to racing. So
you didn't think
it was a little tight there for a while.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's awesome. That's good. I want to ask real quick, people that love racing throughout mid-Missouri, where can they go to watch what you do? And I mean, some of the different tracks, and what are some of your favorite ones around here?
Well, love Moberly track. It's high banked and fast. So we'll just do the local tracks because I do them all over the United States. But Wheatland, as far as facility, it's next to none for Central United States. And we get to race the Show Me 100 and Diamond Nationals down there. And all the best names, Bloomquist, Moyers, Maddens, Babs, all those guys that race the circuit that I race. One of the big things now, we were racing down there a handful of years ago, and I'd had to work 3 services at the funeral home that day, and we were setting time trials on Thursday night, and then I had 3 Friday, 3 Saturday. So I was my time trials and head back home. So they had 68 cars. None of the crew could go. The truck driver, Eric Penberthy, took the car down, turned it around. That was about it. And I went out and did my 2 laps off the track, and everybody was running at me. And I thought, well, maybe I wasn't supposed to pass that guy on the checkered flag lap because he went high. I just went low. Had caught up to him. He said, "No, you just set fast time." I said, "You sure about that?" They said, well, we're checking, so that's how sure they were about it. But anyway, that was a fun thing that night. But I have to tell you the rest of the story. We got off of there and we're coming. So we set the fast time. They did the checks on the tires, and I had to go into the place where they check at the booth. I mean the tech center, and they pulled the tires off check, so I passed. The thing they didn't check were my left tires, and I had the left rear out, and I had the wrong compound. But I don't know anything about that, so as far as I was concerned, we still got the fast time. But
that's
I
awesome.
may have snookered him a little bit, but I didn't call it that because I didn't know it. So
That's right. Yeah, you
it's all
did.
good.
Right, you were doing it you just did it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just had a great time. I mean, I wasn't really caring about the fast time. I was just glad to be there and not having to work that night. So
That's great. Hey, Jay, make sure this next question you ask is really good because your mom is now watching. Okay, make sure you.
No,
Hey,
yeah,
Jay.
I saw that. Thanks, Mom. How fast was the fast time?
Chris, how fast was that fast time? Was it what, 13, 14? I don't know what it was. It was fast time. So for my segment, so it was whatever it is down at Wheatland. I mean, they're all different all over the place. So
Okay,
it's interesting.
I got you.
Interesting. Racing is a lot like golfing. Okay, you're on the same track and you do really well. The next day, you got the same setup, about the same moisture in the track. It's like golfing. You can't hit it. So it's the way it works.
Yep, that golfing that can be a very frustrating sport. Uh, it's also a lot of fun. I mean, you get hooked into doing it, but it's very frustrating. So I completely understand that. That's why I don't play it very much anymore. I could never get rid of that old baseball swing. Just couldn't do it. So, Reid, tell us a little bit about the difference in safety equipment and different things like that today compared to when you first started driving.
Well, when I first started driving, we had just a floppy old seat, and I remember racing down at Brunswick, Georgia, and that's a 5/8 mile. It was really fast. Billy Moyer said, "Now, you go out there, you just flat foot it all the way around, slide the brake in 3 and 4, you should be good." So we started out 8th in the heat and ended up, I believe, 5th. So we got straight into the deal. But after I came back off of the heat, the G forces were so bad I had to take some of the tire cushions and put 3 of them on my right side because you would lean over and your neck was just all strained. And I think it was that night that Darrell Lanigan runs a 29, and he and I were. He was getting ready to lap me, but it took him about 6 or 7 laps. We come out turn 2, and I pull him 5, 6 car lengths down the back straightaway. Then he catch me through the turn, and I pull him down the front straightaway. And this went on for a while. But during that time segment, they took a picture of us, their late model magazine, 174 mile an hour on a dirt track.
Wow.
But Darrell got the kudos because he won the race. So anyway, but I was there with him, pulled him. So
There you go.
it was a good time.
There you go.
That's great.
But now today, I mean, when you strap in, I mean, you can't even move an inch, so you can hardly move this way or that way, and everything's a lot better. I mean, it's just come a long way on how they let the cars bend where they've been. If you hit the wall, which I did a couple times this year, unfortunately, but I'm all right, so it's all good.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. You say that, not being able to move. Emily Wilkerson, our social media director, she got to do the NASCAR experience not too long ago in what is it, Kansas Speedway or Kansas City, up in that area.
Yeah.
And she was going to drive, but then she decided to let them drive. But she said she couldn't hardly move around. She was locked in there pretty good.
I get locked in. Yeah.
That's good. Hey, Jay, what's your next one?
So how many times a year are you racing right now, Reid?
We do about 30 to 50 races a year. It depends on what's going on work wise, because I like to see every family at some point in time in the process that we handle here in Central Missouri. So I do that. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, like the guys will go down and get everything ready, and then I'll drive the Suburban down or one of the cars and meet them at the races. But I could drive up to St. Louis or over into Nebraska on a Friday noon, come back Friday night to Jeff City, do a service in the morning, and then head over to Oklahoma Saturday. I mean, that's how it works, but I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, that's very time consuming. On top of all the other things you do, community wise.
Yeah, I'd like to say this. I'm not new to racing. I just didn't get to race until I was 40 because I was tied up working all the time. But I grew up around racing. My dad's brother ran a Hudson back in the 50s. Of course, that was before my time. We used to go to this little track called Debo, and there's a guy named Sparky that went in out the fence on one side, turned around, and come blew right back through the fence on the other side, to get back in the race. And I don't even know if he lost the spot. But and then I used to go. There are a couple other guys. Rocky Kutry everybody has a card, sponsors race cards. Well, Rocky did. And I went with Howard Cunningham, Rocky, and we'd go watch a guy by the name of Butch Brown. We'd also watch Gary Matthews, different guys. I remember going to Tyler Raceway, and that's 100 miles, and just sitting in the back in a lounge chair, back of a pickup truck, 100 miles down and 100 miles back. I don't think you can do that today. No top on the back of the pickup truck, but hey, we went and had a good time, right? I was little, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably wouldn't be getting by with that today. So not a
No.
bad. Hey, Elijah Mayfield made a comment here real quick. Reid is the best. He did my dad's family's funerals. Elijah's an amazing young man, and he.
I know Elijah well. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you've seen him quite
Well,
a bit around Jeff City.
yeah, you know what? There's a young man has done a lot with his life, and I would say that goes a lot to his parents,
Yes.
but also the education he got through the Catholic schools here in Jeff City and at Lott and so forth. So my hat's off to all of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good people educating and being good mentors to our student athletes and students around mid Missouri. So he's a good young man, and like you said, it's a testament of the people that help pour into him. Reid,
Absolutely.
we have just absolutely the time flies by. We're done with all of our questions. We have a ton more that we could do. So again, we're probably going to ask you to come on again another time. But what I want to do here real quick is go ahead and switch to the full screen with you. And if you want to pull on a couple of your people and just talk a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Come on over. I'll get Clarissa and Chris Carter. Come on over, Chris. So, yeah, Clarissa's in on this side. She does our social media, and she goes out and takes a lot of the pictures at different events and so forth. And if you see on her website, she'll do a little paragraph before an obituary, and she writes all that. And walking in on this side right here is Big Chris. He'll have to lean down a little bit to get in there. But Chris is our crew chief, Chris Carter, and he oversees our facilities and grounds. And our staff says, well, does he really do that? Because we go racing a lot too. So Chris oversees the cars.
Well, very good. Hey, thank you guys. We appreciate having you on there. Reid, Jay and I are gonna go ahead and close out the program. But if you'll hold on, hold on for just a minute. We'll
do it
a bit more, and we'll be right back with you.
Okay.
Hey, man, what an interview! That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is awesome. Reid's obviously had a huge impact in this community, and so it was just awesome to bring him on and to hear his life story. Very fascinating.
All right. Well, you know what time it is. It's time for you to close this thing out. So do the thing you do.
Sounds good. Sports Locker Nation, we appreciate you so much tuning in. This has been One Nation and SLM Extra, and we can't wait to have you back next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody, and God bless you. Have a great week.